Welcome back to the channel, guys. As I've been moving along with the digital marketing agency, I've realized that a lot of people that do startups have a need for a checklist. All the different things to keep in mind and have moving in the background while they're out doing whatever it is that they do, whatever your profession is. Well, if you're a landscaper or a DJ or in the event world or whatever have you, right? So there's all these different things that you want running in the background without, distracting you from what it is that you do and performing the tasks that you perform. So I have got a complete checklist for you to keep in mind as you move forward with your dream, your vision, your business, and whatever else you have going on. So I made this slide show earlier today, and I was like, as I've been talking to people, they have all these different questions, and I was like, well, let's come up with a checklist of all the different things somebody might need in order to know they're on the right track, right? The complete checklist for modern service business success. Running a service-based business today requires more than just talent. It demands a sophisticated operation and marketing system that transform how DJs, photographers, wedding planners, and anybody in the service-based industry to convert and delight their clients while also handling with their leads, their social posts, and all these other things that are going on in the background. Now, one thing to keep in mind, I had Dion. He came over to the house and he was kind of, showing me all the different things that he was working on. And I started asking him questions. And, well, the first question I asked was, do you have a Google business listing? Now, there are many videos out there to show you how to do a Google business listing. And, well, we made sure that was one of the first things on our checklist. Make sure you have a Google business listing registered with the government. You got to have an EIN number. The first thing, Google business listing profile for optimization. Without a Google business listing, you won't be able to connect to analytics. And basically, if somebody was going to look for your service or look for you, you would want to be in good with Google because that's where most of the people are searching for their services. So before potential clients want to book your service, they need to search online. They need to get a little bit of social proof, right? So your Google business listing or profile is often the first impression. They're going to be able to read up and find out what other people have said, like your Google reviews, where your business is located, and actually if it makes a good fit for whatever they're looking to accomplish, right? So make sure you get verified and somebody doesn't think that you're just somebody who's not an established business, kind of winging it, right? Are you going to be able to perform whatever the task is? So looking professional, having an EIN number, registering with Google so that you can move forward to the next steps. So if you haven't done that, pause the video, and then come back after that. Because having a Google business listing is pretty much how you're going to be able to connect and automate things in the next slides. And also, just so you know, when Dion came over the house, we ended up making a Google business listing for him, and it took a day or two for this to actually populate. But if you guys want to go ahead and leave him a 5-star review, type in 5150 Events LLC, and that'll get him going. All right, so with that in mind, your digital home professional website, right? So when you're making a website, you don't need a whole lot depending on what you're offering, right? So basically a funnel page, just one page that has all the essentials on it, right? You want to make sure that it's mobile friendly so that when people are using their phone or iPads or tablets or whatever they're using, that they can see the information, clear call to actions. You want to make sure that you have an opt-in form or a book to find out more, consultation, phone numbers on there. What do you want your lead to do? So it's another thing to keep in mind of websites versus funnel pages is that a website has all these different avenues for someone to go. See, think, absorb, and then they could get distracted by something else and then not come back to your webpage. So the thing is, you want to be able to collect their information and leave the path less confusing or as easy as possible for someone to want to book your service or have a clear vision of what you want them to do. If not, they'll get confused or not know what to do. And then, well, that could be a lost sale right there. So just keep that in mind. So you also want to build in some elements, right? When you have a professional website, it builds trust without them knowing you're building trust. If you look professional, you will be treated like you're a professional. So you want to make sure that you display any testimonials you'll have or any reviews or your knowledge on the topic. You could have a video there talking about how much you know about whatever your subject is or whatever it is your service is. And then, of course, pictures, images, so that somebody doesn't have to scroll or click to another web page or your social media. Now, it's good to have a social media account. Of course, that'll be another way for social proof. How long have you been on? How much have you been posting? That kind of thing. Yet at the same time, you want to keep someone who doesn't know who you are, that could be scrolling off to some other adventure. You want to keep them on the page so that you can collect their information, so that you would have an opt-in form or book now or click to call. Just remember, when you have CTAs, call to action, that you keep it small, right? I'm going to click this because I'm going to send you an email. I'm going to click this because it's going to start dialing, right? You want to make sure to have a clear call to action, whatever would be the easiest step to move somebody along to want to book your service. And of course, you can sit down with me and then we can come up with different ways to see how that works or what best fits for your business. For an example, you could check out my website that I built with GoHighLevel. Share my screen. Here's a website that I built with GoHighLevel using their platform. And over here it has distinctively clear information about what we offer. Definitely photo booths. Got it. And then this will scroll and tell you the different things that we have as well, like DJs for dance, high school dances, weddings, corporate. It'll say all of that on there if the page was live. So I can just go ahead and click it, have it go live, and then you can see that it'll do a picture slideshow. So it blinks, and then corporate DJs, professional high school dances, and then it has images of what it is that we offer. And then, of course, we have a video here that explains more about what we offer, and has video examples of previous shows that we've done to show proof. Here's another video that explains what the services actually are, and then, of course, we have literature that explains even more. Social proof, so we have our testimonials on this page as well. And then I went an extra step and then created an app for anybody who's getting married, so they could download our app and use it as a checklist and budget calculator for them planning their big day. As you scroll down, we get another video and then our contact information. Now, it's not exactly a funnel page because it doesn't require you to give us your information for the next step, but yet at the same time, it does have an opt-in form once we've explained to them who we are and have proven our services could be beneficial for whatever it is they're looking to do. So just keep that in mind with a professional website. You want to make sure that you have a way to capture their information. Now, this seems to be a pretty hot topic when it comes to DJs. They put your prices on your website. And what I say is, don't put your prices on your website until you're so busy that you put it on there to scare people away type thing. I would recommend, unless you're super busy, not to have your prices on your website. Or some people that I've talked to, I've told them, in order for somebody to get your prices, they would have to give you their information if you didn't want to act like you're hiding something from somebody. So basically, here's our price sheets, give us your information, and then if you're not following up with them, because the signed contract's going to come in the follow-up. So you could give them the information that they could be looking for up front, or you could say, how about you sit down with us and then I'll give you all the information, and that'll keep tire kickers away, right? Or problem clients as well. So if someone's willing to get your service and they're willing to jump through a hoop or two, then they're more committed to who you are and they expect you to be the professional, and then you can lead them down the path that makes most sense as the professional and the client. And then, of course, if you have informational videos explaining about how much you know about the subject and social proof about how many shows you've done in the past or how many clients you've had in the past, then it'll be easier for someone who doesn't know who you are to take the student chair type thing. So capture and convert forms and landing pages. So another thing that GoHighLevel does that I love is that it automatically does text back for you. So it was asking a bunch of questions. It does text back for you. So what had happened was that there was somebody reaching out to me when I wasn't able to get to the phone or I was in the office, that they would start asking questions and then it would just start giving back information. Oh, what's your prices? Well, here, book a Zoom call. We'll tell you what our prices are. Or it also gives them other information and it says, you got anything else? You let us know, double check, so it makes somebody who's a lead feel comfortable that you're there for them. Because you could, even though I'm not there in the moment, I can always go back and read these and make sure that the lead of the client got the information that they needed when they needed it. So having a CRM like GoHighLevel, it'll be able to track your leads, track your customers, send out email marketing, and of course text messages and whatever else you create within a workflow. And you're probably, if you're kind of new, a workflow is just a series of communication that's set up on automatic to make sure that you're keeping in touch with everybody. Because if you get 30 to 40 leads a day, you're not going to be able to call them all the time. Yet, if you have systems set up, you can just call the ones that have made it through the system, right? At the end. I usually tell people it's kind of like you set up a bunch of dominoes and then you just have to go and tip a few over. And then whichever ones work are the ones you follow up with, which makes the most sense and the most use of your time. So again, instant follow-up with text messaging is done within GoHighLevel, and it keeps clients and customers engaged. And remember, speed is king. Studies show that responding to inquiries within 5 minutes increases conversion rates by 400%. So your instant automated responses position you as a professional, organized, and generally interested, right? Because no one's going to book with you if they don't think you care about their service or their business. No one's going to book with you if they don't think you care about their business, right? Or their issues or whatever they have going on. They were looking for somebody that can handle whatever issue or whatever it is that you solve. And you have to show that you care. You do that by having your system set up and looking professional. Also, with that in mind, reputation. This seems to be the big talk within GoHighLevel. So basically, it'll send out reviews for every time you do something. Every time you have a customer, every time you talk to somebody, you can tell it to, oh, this closed out, send them a review link. And then once they post a review, it'll go back and respond. So as I share my screen, you can look at the different automations it does, and then you don't even have to pay attention to it because I've got all these different 5-star reviews, and then it just went through. I'll move my head. And then it just went through and started responding to all these 5-star reviews. And in a competitive market, think about it. When you go to purchase something, are you going online and type it into Google? And if two services are pretty close, are you looking at those reviews to see who has the better reviews? Or are you even incorporating reviews into what somebody charges? Because somebody who has more quality 5-star reviews probably could charge more because their service technically, as far as Google's concerned, would be worth more because of years of experience and proven facts that they can deliver on whatever it is that they promise. So this is the page where it responds to everything that I did. So it already went in there and responded. I didn't have to wait to go back in and create something. It just created a professional response to all the reviews that I got. So that's basically how that works. And then if you wanted to get really fancy, when you get a GoHighLevel, this was basically already set up for me, but if I wanted to go in and edit it, I could change the tone of it. And of course it has instructions. It's already pre-built of what the job of that AI bot is supposed to do. It's supposed to go back and say thanks for the review and then give a nice professional comment back. Just keep that in mind. It's already built in. Again, if you're just starting out a business and this seems like a lot, don't worry. You can get this set up for you. I can set it up for you. Not a big deal. Another thing that it does AI-powered communication so you never miss an opportunity. So this is an extra service, right? You set up a phone number within GoHighLevel. You make that your business line. And then when people call that number, it goes straight to an AI computer voice bot. And you can check out one of our latest videos where I actually use the service. And then it's even got more updates since when I created that video. Yet it's answering all the calls that are coming in because you can look at it like this. You can pay somebody, a virtual assistant or a person in the office, answer phones for you all week, or you can have your AI answer phones and then you can get back to them whenever you have a free moment to handle whatever calls were coming in because your AI assistant's working in the background. Another thing with AI is that when they call in that number, it can take an appointment for them and then schedule it in with a calendar that you integrate, which is kind of cool. Like for me, I DJ on the weekends, so I only do Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays for consultations. And then once they call up, they get the AI bot and they say, hey, some great times for us to meet up. And then it just schedules it in the calendar. I get an email, so I only have to worry about Zoom calls Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So that is amazing. So again, it has two-way sync with Google Calendar and Outlook, right? It doesn't matter what you use, just you can implement it with the system. And then automated reminder sequences. We could set up more detailed automated reminders, but it's got the pre-built one already. And then a pre-appointment questionnaire if you have one, depending on what your service is. If you're a lawn service, how often or who have you used before? You have any trees you want to get cut? It has time buffers, so you wouldn't be bouncing from one to the next Zoom call unless you wanted to. Multiple calendar types can be integrated, which is cool. It's just a new feature they just added. So another thing as a new business owner, right? one thing to understand is it's going to take 12 to 18 times for someone to want to book with your service. And then how does that happen? Well, you can make YouTube videos, and then you can send them emails and text messages. And what content do you put in there, right? So you would want to create content that's educational, something that helps somebody out when they're making a purchasing decision, something that shows your expertise, something that has compelling factors to make them want to book sooner than later, because you are running a business. And the sooner you can get to resolve, the sooner you can have signed contracts, happy customers, and have all the other automation running in the background. So if I move my head over here, right? So email ROI. So basically, if you're not sending out emails, you're not going to be able to keep up with people. SMS open rate, right? That happens automatically once you have your number registered with A2P. And then your revenue will automatically increase because you're reaching out to more people by volume. And then, of course, they're jumping through hoops. And then all you have to do is clean up after the system's done its thing. So I just wanted to make sure that I explained a few of those things. I put a slideshow together for you guys. So it actually helps me out too, because when I'm talking to my customers, they're basically starting out, and I'm finding out how much they really don't know. Because sometimes I just talk on a certain level, and sometimes I forget I have to slow down, because somebody could be overwhelmed with all the different tasks that are involved. But it just becomes daily routines like anything else. AI, keeping up with all these different opportunities, learning how the system works so that you can book more clients, make more money, build your business, secure your future. Alrighty, guys. I'll leave some links down below. I'll catch you on the next one.